A vicious killing spree, a dramatic trial, and a shocking confession. Ted Bundy is known for the brutal killings of more than 30 women. But what happened once the notorious serial killer was behind bars? Theodore Robert Bundy is also one of the most infamous serial killers in the annals of American crime history. Although he admitted to murdering at least 36 women during a multi-state killing spree in the 1970s, experts believe he may have actually killed 100 or more. The former law school student would often lure his victims into death by pretending to be injured and using a cast, sling, or crutches. When his infamous and manipulative charm failed him, he would pose as a police officer or firefighter. Bundy was first arrested in 1975 after a high-speed chase by Highway Patrol Officer Bob Hayward. In 1976, he was convicted and sentenced to 15 years in prison for the attempted kidnapping of an 18-year-old from Salt Lake City, Utah in 1974. He made his first prison escape during a transfer from Utah to Colorado in 1977, but was soon recaptured. However, he had more success with his next escape attempt, which was also in 1977. Bundy made it to Tallahassee, Florida, where he went on another murder spree, killing 2 women at a sorority house near Florida State University and later a 12-year-old girl. He was arrested for the final time in 1978 and indicted on murder charges. Ultimately, he was convicted in 1979 and sentenced to death by electrocution the same year.
I'm not guilty.
During his years on death row, Ted Bundy received frequent visits from his wife, Carol Ann Boone. Bundy and Boone met while they were working at the Washington State Department of Emergency Services. At the time, they were both in relationships with other people. They eventually lost touch, but in 1977, they reconnected while Bundy was in jail in Utah. As the relationship blossomed, Boone moved to Florida to attend Bundy's trial for the murder of his 12-year-old victim, Kimberly Leach. Boone testified for Bundy as a character witness. In fact, Bundy and Boone got married in court during his trial, as she believed he was innocent.
Will you marry me?
Yes, I will.
And I do hereby marry you.
Boone said that the guards allowed them to have sex, and she eventually became pregnant and gave birth to Rose Bundy in 1981, all while Bundy was on death row.
I don't think that Ted belongs in jail.
But as his execution date came closer, Bundy began to open up about his crimes. This prompted Boone to divorce him in 1986, as she realized that he was, in fact, not innocent. Bundy told FBI Special Agent Bill Hagmaier that he killed 30 people in 7 states between 1973 and 1978.
I deserve certainly the most extreme punishment society has.
At first, it seemed that Ted Bundy's time in prison did not affect him, but A&E reports that he spent his final night in prison in tears appealing to God. In an interview with psychologist and religious broadcaster James Dobson on the last night of his life, Bundy said that he took responsibility for his brutal crimes. Moreover, he prayed with a Methodist minister. In the hours before his death, Esquire reports that Bundy called his mother twice. At the end of the second call, she told Bundy, "You'll always be my precious son." According to A&E, he was given a final meal of steak, eggs, toast, and hash browns. He did not eat it. With this, a prison spokesperson noted, it appeared that he was accepting the finality of the situation. On January 24, 1989, Bundy made his way into the death chamber. He reportedly looked scared and apprehensive. An article from the Los Angeles Times notes that 42 people watched as he was placed into the electric chair. Once he was strapped in, he looked at his attorney and minister and said, "Jim and Fred, I'd like you to give my love to my family and friends." The Los Angeles Times writes that Bundy was then electrocuted with 2,000 volts of electricity. By 7:16 a.m., Ted Bundy was dead.
Bundy was executed before an atmosphere that was almost circus-like.
Bundy was then cremated, and his ashes were scattered over the Cascade Mountains.